This podcast is brought to you by ONNIT. Go to ONNIT.com and look at the great selection of supplements. If you find something you like, press in code Joey and get 10% off delivered right to your house. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Uncle Joey here. The joint is brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, they're starting a movement over at Manscaped. They want everybody to take care of themselves. And with spring break approaching, listen, you gotta have your nuts tip-top magoo. Some women like tall guys, some prefer big butts, but no one prefers their men with fucking smelly, unkept fucking rat holes. That's why our friends at Manscaped developed a new and improved Lawnmower 4.0 to keep the weeds out of your fucking crotch garden. Before you head out to spring trip, make sure you're groomed from ball to tip. Join the Manscaped movement by going to manscaped.com. Code Diaz, D-I-A-Z, for 20% off and free shipping. Get your day started by trimming those fucking bat hairs with the waterproof Lawnmower 4.0. Clear your holes and smell the spring air with the fucking weed whacker. I love it. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. I always clean up my nose. And also clean up that fucking old nutsack like mine with Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. Fucking tremendous. And then you finish off grooming with the Plow 2.0. A little razor, you get a little fucking shave on your face. Because if you're using Lawnmower 4.0 on your nutsack and your face, you're doing it wrong, boys. Listen to me. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com and press code Diaz, D-I-A-Z. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, code Diaz. Listen, Manscaped, for when you want to be caught with your pants around your fucking ankles. Trim that bush and get ready for spring break. 20% off and free fucking worldwide shipping with code Diaz at manscaped.com. The joint is also brought to you by CBD Lion. Listen, when it comes to CBD, the best. Now what I've been doing is I found out from somebody that if you take one droplet of TBD under your tongue before you work out, you're going to go through it like a fucking savage. I did a workout with it this morning. I felt a lot better before it and a lot better after it. So add that to your workout routine. CBD Lion is number one. Go to CBDLion.com and read the third-party lab results. They will blow your fucking mind, whether it's the kinesiology tape, the cream, or the Delta 9 gummies, which are fucking tremendous. And I'm giving you 15% off or 20% off. Take a chance. Go to CBD Lion, press in code Joey, your joint, and get 20% off and get it on that Delta 9. They're worth their fucking weight in gold. Again, CBDLion.com, code Joey. Read the third-party lab results and get some CBD and put one of those cotton balls up your ass with CBD. You'll be jumping up and down for days. And now, without further ado, here comes the joint, cocksuckers. Uncle Joey's ready for you on a Wednesday morning.
Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? I dream a genie with a 10-foot weenie. You know what I'm saying? It's Wednesday. Cocksuckers, get your shit together. It's a beautiful fucking day to be alive. I'm feeling great. I'm sorry about the podcast. I'm not even fucking sorry. I just had to tell you how I feel. That's it. Listen, man, ever since I moved, I left this dude alone. It's like you're dealing with a fucking retard. But as usual, people get fucking froggy when the fucking king is away. So now I got to come back and reclaim my motherfucking throne. You understand me? And we're working on it, cocksuckers. But it's great. It's Wednesday. I'm feeling good. I had a great fucking week. I don't know if you guys got to watch the show on HBO. It came on Monday night with John Bernthal. He was supposed to be a guest today. We got Rudy instead, but we'll have Bernthal on next week to talk about We Own the City. You watch it, Mike? Not bad. The first episode was kind of fucking slow, but John was great. The characters were great. You know, I like that wire writing. I like all that shit, ghetto. I live for that stuff. It's great. It's yeah. They always get going to like the third episode, but hopefully we'll have John next week. I got Rudy today. Rudy's one of my favorite fucking people, guys. Ever since I've met him, he's always been like an older uncle. Like I could ask him advice on anything because music, comedy, entertainment, it all goes hand in fucking hand. A comedian is a failed musician, and a musician is a comedian who is fucking smart. You know what I'm saying? That he said, fuck going on the road with no guitar. I got to protect myself and shit in case Will Smith wants to come up here or some shit. But all jokes aside, no, I've had great talks with Rudy. We talk about, you know, just the business and how he sees it, how I see it. You know, I started taking some guitar lessons from him, and it's fucking crazy. Like, compared to my teacher that I was paying $40, Rudy was 30 times better. And it's so weird when you get a lesson from somebody who, he's a fucking legend, guys. I mean, Whitesnake, you know, it's just so many fucking things. But he's not a legend because of his bass playing. I'll tell you that much. He's a legend because he's a good fucking guy, man. And he just feels, you know, if you're smart and you're a young musician, I would follow Rudy. He gives some great fucking advice. He's not a partier. He's not a heavy metal banger, you know. It's so funny when you meet people, what you portray them to be. Like, who's the crazy guy I like? The guy that does all the Ozzy Osbourne shit. You know, he does, he's got his own band. Fucking crazy dude with a beard, you know. Zakk Wylde. You know, Zakk Wylde. I love Zakk Wylde. But you know what I love about Zakk Wylde? I love everything I hear about him. I love that when Zakk goes on tour, he goes on tour. There ain't no showering. There ain't no shaving. You're just going to be a fucking roughneck and stink. I love all that shit. But then when he's home, he's a dad. He shaves the beard. He's at his kids' softball games. You know, these are like split. You have to have like a split life in this, and you have to be cool with it. If not, you know how many times I was sitting there eating dinner with Mercy and my wife, and we're talking about, like, you know, stupid kid shit, and before that we're saying prayers, and while she's saying prayers, I'm like, I gotta go down to the store in an hour and unleash a beret of fucking curses, racial epithets, and all this shit. This is double life. Nobody believes this shit. Like, I'm sitting here saying prayers with her, with my hands up like a half a fag and everything, and in an hour I'm gonna be at the Comedy Store yelling and screaming, talking about sucking my dick. Guys, it's not normal, but you know, you fucking figure it out. I couldn't imagine being like, for me, I would love to be like in a band and have my kids and go fishing and shit. And then Tuesday night you show up in Philadelphia, you're on stage with Led Zeppelin with gongs, and you know, you look over your shoulder and there's fucking John Bonham fucking playing the shit out of the drums, drinking Jack Daniels and shit. People throwing you joints, underwears are flying. You're like, I can't wait to get back to Freehold to that softball game on fucking Saturday. This is craziness. It's insanity when you mix the two. Like, I learned from Joe Rogan because he already had daughters, and he had a stepdaughter, and I'm like, how the fuck do you do it? You go out, you be crazy, you smoke dope, then you gotta go home and face these fucking kids. Let me tell you, dog, I try my hardest not to smoke around my kid, but I try even harder not to be stoned about it, because I don't know what the fuck she's talking about when I'm sober. So can you imagine? Rick Dukerman, one of my fucking idols, had a great joke that he had to stop smoking dope when he had his kids because his kids were asking him creepy questions while he was stoned. Like, Dad, how come you drink grape juice, it goes in purple, but it comes out yellow? And he would go, you got to get back to me on that. Was one of my favorite fucking jokes from Rick Dukerman, rest his soul. But it's really fucking hard, guys. And that's what I was having a hard time with when I got back here. I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I felt like I was in the mafia. Like every night I'm having dinner with a nice girl and another nice woman, and then I gotta go kill somebody. I gotta go shoot somebody in the fucking head and then come back like nothing happened. Like I would go to the store on a Tuesday night. There's Kate Quigley would be telling me, Ron, there's a chick who wants to suck your dick in the back. And I would get out, after I would do one show and then smoke a blunt, and then they give you a box of ABX edibles, and then you go to the original room and do another set. And then I got to go home and walk in. It's like, hi. And my daughter's, Daddy, we watched Harry Potter, and fucking he ate the mongoloid or whatever the fuck they do on Harry Potter. How do you think? I don't know what she's talking about. It's like, I just came from the store where some woman was telling fucking my friend she wanted to suck my dick. I had to run out of it, and I come home to fucking Harry Potter and Disney movies and Kanto and shit. It's tough, but guess what? I'm getting ready to go live that fucking life again because it's fun. It's fun to have an alter ego. It's amazing that I say those things on stage and on the podcast, and people judge you and they put you in a capsule. They don't know that you read a book to your daughter every night. They don't know that, you save birds. I don't save birds. I'm just saying, they don't know what you're really about. And it's really funny when people are like, hey, what, are you out doing drugs tonight? No, it's Sunday night. I'm home watching Winning Time with the fucking Lakers. Why would I want to be out tonight doing fucking drugs? I got something, it's just weird what people think of you, what they assume your life is like. Like people always thought I had 20 people in the green room. I don't want 20 people in the fucking green room. You think I want chicks back there naked? I'm a married fucking man. I like Felicia, I like the MC. They both smoke. Whoever don't want to be in there, they better be able to fucking smoke. One MC told me, I'm allergic to THC. It looks like you ain't working this weekend because there's going to be a lot of reefer in this fucking green room. Edibles and THC dust and, when it's a lifestyle, guys, and you got to get into it. And you know what? I missed it for a long time. I miss rocking and rolling. That's what I fucking miss, guys. I was scared to rock and roll. You have to be. You have to be today. Who's not going to be there with a camera? Who's going to fucking, are you going to say a fucking, some word and people going to tape it and take you to fuck? Who the fuck knows? But you know what? You just got to go out there and not give a fuck. It's like somebody telling you, I don't want to go to jiu-jitsu because I might break a bone. I don't want to be a boxer because I might get brain damage. If you think about that shit, then you're going to get brain damage. You probably got brain damage already thinking that way. If you're going to think that way, but you have to go up on stage going, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they think. And especially me now. Listen, I'm not going for no Netflix special. I could care less if they like me or they don't fucking like me. I'm not going for nothing. I am going for an audition for Tom Carvel tomorrow, and you guys know I'm excited about that shit. I live for Carvel. To have the opportunity, listen, I'm going to put the audition on tape. There's somebody on that movie that doesn't like me. I can't even tell you who it is, but last time I put an audition in for a movie that I thought that the guy didn't like me, it was a grudge match. And then I realized the director was the one that sent in the fucking email for me. So you never know. When you get those type of auditions, at first I was like, oh, this bitch is involved with this movie. And I go, you know what? That means, and the audition is just a page and a half, so I could learn that in an hour, and I could just blast it. I'll fucking read it first. Then I'll put the yellow on it to mark it, and then I'll put my little things. Then I smoke a joint and revisit it. That's how you fucking nail an audition. I got my little list. I read through the list and mark all the stuff so the character has a fucking history. And tomorrow morning, like at 10, I have my wife set up the little camera pool, the teleprompter, and I'll drop some fucking knowledge, and hopefully I'll be Tom Carvel. Listen, the chances are slim. But fuck it, you got to go for it, cocksuckers. I preach this shit. You got to go for it. If you're walking on ice, you might as well dance. And guess what? It's all over. It's time for you to fucking go for it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's time for me to go for it, guys. I've been sitting here long enough, fucking going to softball games and meeting parents. It's time for me to go on the road and tell you motherfuckers what I really think. And that's plain and fucking simple. Do not forget, it's sold out, but they might let some tickets loose. I'm on Ari's Storyteller Show next Monday night at the Village Underground, New York City, 8 o'clock. I don't know what time I'm going up. I'm just going to go there, tell a story, and fucking come home, smoke a joint, and see the boys. Who's better than Uncle Joey? Nobody, cocksuckers, because now I got a taste of blood, and I'm ready for these motherfuckers. Now, without further ado, the great Rudy Sarzo. I hope you enjoy this.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
¿Qué pasa?
Welcome to the joint, you savage.
Is that,
Look at me. I got sunburn. I got everything last weekend. It must have been 2,000 fucking degrees in Jersey on the baseball field.
Oh man,
What's going on, my brother? Great to see you.
So blessings. I'm really blessed. It's all good. Life is good. No complaints.
How's mom at the house?
Oh, she's man. What a blessing to have her home with us. And it was, Rebecca. She instigated the whole thing. That's my wife. I mean, for the listeners, people watching this show. My wife's name is Rebecca, and she was kind of like, yeah, let's get her home now, because we were that period with COVID. That was kind of tough. Traveling and almost impossible, and the risk, and she was living in Miami by herself, and she didn't want to get the shots and be all by herself, and something happened, and so as soon as we brought her here to Los Angeles, to live with us, and that right off the plane to get her first vaccine for COVID, so it's so good. It's so good. It's like she's brought so much joy and blessings to our home, and we're having fun, actually.
Rudy, when you told me you were bringing your mom, my sister died in Cuba. Like a month and a half ago, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
And I couldn't really do anything. You know the situation. I could call.
Yeah.
And it took me 4 days to get a fucking calling card. I couldn't even get a calling card to call, and it was weird. But thinking, I was sad, and at the same time I was happy, because now she's with my mother, which is what my mother always wanted.
Yeah.
But the following couple of weeks, Rudy started fucking with me a little bit. I was watching some show, Winning Time, the Lakers on HBO, and his mother sends him off. And I'm like, I never had that. Like, I never had a mom sending you off to fucking Colorado or L.A. or before you go do a show or something. And it was really weird, because when my mother died, I swept it under the carpet. Like, I didn't deal with it immediately. I couldn't. I was too young. I was involved with pussy and music and concerts, so I didn't have a chance to really process it. So for some weird reason in my mind, Rudy, I always thought, as crazy as it sounds, that I would see her again. And it didn't dawn on me until 40 fucking years later that I'm not going to fucking see her. This was just a pipe dream I was saying to me. So if any of the listeners or fucking the watchers, whatever, take one thing for granted. When your mom or your dad dies, your world sucks dick. I'm telling you, from me, even 40 years later, she never got to see my accomplishments. She never got to see that I could do this or I could do that. So you got to be good to your moms. And I'm not saying this because next month is Mother's Day or nothing. I'm saying this is general. You have to, towards the end, you want to be there with them. You want to, I don't care if it's for that last month, to bring them in your house so they see what you're about, and you could see what they're about. But now I give you so much respect, Rudy, just for you being you. Now for bringing your mom into the mix, 90 years old, this is it. These are your golden years. I mean, what are you, fucking 65? This is it. This is the time you want to be with fucking mom. And I know they're a pain in the ass. They don't hear, and but you got to drive them to bingo. You got to, keep them involved. Take them out. Take them to a bar. Let them have a glass of wine. Mom did it for us. What shouldn't you do for your fucking mom? Tell me. And I know. Oh, well, I go to therapy because of my mom. Because you're a fucking punk cocksucker. Because you're a punk cocksucker. Tony Soprano, too. You don't go into psychiatry and tell them that your mom is the goods. And yeah, there's great moms, there's good moms, and there's some that are bad, but every mom comes around the same way a dad comes around. So I'm very proud of you, Rudy, and I can't imagine the fulfillment you must feel.
Oh yeah, I mean, every night, she goes from our living room where we have dinner, and it's funny because every time I watch her in her favorite chair, because she's on a walker, so she's got to pick the furniture that she feels comfortable sitting in. So she found this chair in the living room, and that's kind of like her throne. We call it La Reina, because she was born the same day, same year as Queen Elizabeth. So she just celebrated her 96, just like the Queen did. And if you add on top of that, my wife was born the same day, same year as Princess Diana. I don't know what that means, but that is a fact. So
it's a message from the English people. You know what I'm saying?
So getting back to my mom sitting there, so we got her, a really nice TV dinner tray. So she sits there watching, and this is our ritual. Every day we watch the Family Feud. and even though she's, because she's living in Miami, she really didn't have the need to learn English. Now she does. And I mean, she's got a purpose now. Okay, I learn English because I can talk to my daughter-in-law, my wife. And my wife is doing the same thing. She's learning Spanish. And I'm like really impressed how fast she's picking everything up because she wants to. Now there's a purpose. There's a person that speaks Spanish besides me in the house that she needs to communicate with. And it's really so sweet to walk in the room, and my wife has an app on her phone, and my mom has an app in the phone, and they translate what they want to say to each other.
It's a new adventure in your life.
It is.
On top of the many other adventures, now you're just doing your thing with Quiet Riot. My apologies to you. My night got fucked up that night. There was a sleepover. That's how I got clearance that night to leave at 6.
I love it.
The girls were going to do a sleepover, and that afternoon, the dad who was going to watch him got called into work in New York because he's a sanitation executive. So he got called, and he called me. He's like, "We're going to cancel." I go, "You know what? You can't." But my daughter wouldn't shut the fuck up about it all week, and the other kids. So I went over there and sat with them till fucking 9 o'clock till the moms got home, because the moms were going out and they didn't know what the right hand and the left hand was doing. But I'll catch you on the way back, either in PA.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy said you were great. He sent me a video of the bass solo. Fucking Rudy up there doing his thing, looking like a fucking kid at the Palladium 40 years back.
Oh yeah. It's weird because it's a state of mind, And during this COVID, shut down, as I say, you know what, I'm just going to try to learn as much stuff as special interest. And one of them was music. I mean, it's like something, it's like, did you ever question yourself, what you do? Why do I do what I do? What's the meaning of? Yeah.
Every goddamn day.
So for me to be a musician, and it's not, because growing up as a kid, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to be a movie director. But once I got that card handed to me and say, okay, this is the card you're going to play. You're going to be a musician. This is it. These are the cards that you got. So, this is your hand in life, and I'm going there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a purpose for me doing this. I mean, it's not just me getting up there and playing a bunch of songs. So this is even before I got back with Quiet Riot. Frankie was still alive, and all of that. So I went on the internet, started, getting as much knowledge and information, and going to different websites saying, okay, I like this, I don't like that, I like this, I want to hear more. And one thing came to the other. So I just started, basically, it came down to quantum physics with me. And what really attracts me about quantum physics is that, first of all, I understand it, not necessarily all of it, but the essence of it, and to actually watch scientists, people who are way more educated than I will ever be in my life, actually say, yes, there is a higher power. There is the highest power, a creator. And it the source, and we are all a source of that. And this is stuff that they do in the lab. They experiment this, and they find the smallest quantity. They go down to photons. They go down into molecules, and they split of the atom. There's more into the, when you split the atom, it splits into different parts. It's more inside of it. And just like you go higher, you can go positive, negative, or it could be the same thing. This really, what divides positive and negative is that middle line, that neutral, right? And you go in either directions, you're going in the same thing. You're just getting more of the opposite, And so I started studying and to actually hear scientists. These are people who are like, they start out, debunking the existence of a higher power. And years ago, what was popular was to think that we live in a chaotic universe. The whole thing, this is all by accident. No, this is not by accident. This is purely, there's a purpose and there's a law, and there's the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, the laws of the creation, the creator, and the fact that what science is leaning towards is the fact that you, me, everybody else that has ever existed, this is a hologram, what we experience. We're just making this thing up. And it's according to our consciousness, our belief system, that things turn into, they manifest themselves.
It's really crazy. I read about that. I read about that years ago. I had to smoke like 22 joints while I was reading that fucking book. I can't remember the name of it. But it's like the images we see are only in our mind. Mike doesn't see the same images that I see. It's the same images. Molecules are bumping up against each other, and you just don't see it. It's just a thing of our mind. It's our own movie made from our mind, our life. I guess that's what they say. It makes sense to me a little bit. The other half I'm fucked up on, so I'm not a scientist. And I'm not a fucking smart guy, you know what I'm saying? But it's really weird what this pandemic made people think a lot. Made people think a lot. Others, it made them so scared that they refused to think. And they just kept going like a chicken without a head on. I'm seeing a lot of the results from that. I'm seeing the way the pandemic affected people. Mental health fucking through the roof. You see it. People may not know they're experiencing it. They're trying harder. They're overcompensating. There's been so many changes, we can't keep up with them. This has been a tough time for the country. And I'll tell you, Rudy, I didn't know how bad the country needed entertainment. I just heard something yesterday where the Stones had the #1 tour of last year, and they did like 8 fucking shows. They did like $115 billion fucking dollars, those guys. And every concert, now this summer, I mean, the concert is a fucking, everybody's out. From Quiet Riot to Elton John to fucking, everybody's doing a mystery tour. So it's like the hardest, people are going to fucking shows, man. That's what I'm trying to say. People are going to comedy shows. People are going out because they never want to feel the way they did for those fucking 2 years again. So people are really overcompensating. Planes are packed. Vacation packages are packed. I mean, we finally got a house the last week of August in fucking North Carolina. I'm going down there with 8 of the families and the kids and the boat and the fucking helicopter. I don't know how the fuck I got to drive 8 hours. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. How much longer do you have left on the tour, Roots?
Oh, this is open-ended. It's as long as people keep showing up, because you make such a great point that's saying that people want to be entertained. And I tell you what, I heard you say that, and what triggered in my mind was, I just like you, I'm also an entertainer. So I study the meaning of what I do to contribute to when people gather to come or see our show. What am I offering to them for their money and their time? They made the effort to be there. They're there. So now it's my responsibility to deliver whatever they came for, and then some. Because once you give them that extra, they keep coming for more. You know what I mean? You just don't say, okay, you pay so much for a ticket, I'm going to give you $100 worth of entertainment from me. No, it's like you give them everything you got, and then you try to find that extra bit and say, here, thank you so much for coming here. Because I've been a fan longer than I've been a professional musician. So I know all of the sacrifices that fans make, like myself, you know, trying to get together $3.50 to go and see Led Zeppelin play at the Sportatorium in Fort Lauderdale, you know, and all of that, you know, and everything. It starts like a week before. You prepare yourself, you listen to the music, you get pumped up with your friends, you know, somehow you get a hold of a Led Zeppelin shirt somewhere in one of the stores, you know, and I'm talking in the 60s and the 70s. So merchandise was very, very limited back then. You know, there was usually bootleg stuff, you know. And then you make it to the show and it becomes an unforgettable experience that I'm still talking about it with you 50 years later.
It's crazy because I charge $25 for my tickets. $30 on a Friday and Saturday, even though the agent's like, it's New York, you could charge. No, $30. I'm not, when I do a podcast and you tell me you don't like the podcast, I don't give a fuck. It's an hour we talk, 3 hours we talk. We try to communicate the best we can. When you tell me I did a role in the movie and you didn't like how I acted, that's fine too. I could tolerate that. When you tell me you came to the Comedy Store to see me on a Tuesday and you say you didn't like my set, I could deal with that. The only thing I can't deal with is bombing on the road. I got a real fucking thing about people coming to see me and my performance on the road. You know, I tell people all the time, when you're a gambler, you don't remember the big things you won. You remember the shit you lost. You know, with the musicians, you remember the bad shows. You know, your bass was off. Who the fuck knows? Your cat died. It's 1,000 variables when you have 4 people putting a band together. When you go to see a concert, and that concert is tremendous, you got to thank your lucky stars because 4 people were on that night at the same fucking time. You were the Yankees that night. You were the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Some nights the singer's got a sore throat. His chick gave him VD. You know, he's not going to go out there and sling dick like usual. For me, when it came, that's why I liked the proportion. That's why I didn't want to go on the road. I didn't want to be Guns N' Roses every night. I think that you need, just like when you need to recuperate from weights, when you lift weights, they tell you not to lift weights more than 4 days a week. You got to recover. You got to recover also. So I always respected that because I knew the more spaghetti I threw on the wall, the more chances I got to bomb. So during the week, I don't want to be out. I want to be at little comedy clubs trying new shit out because if I'm going to bomb, I'm going to bomb there. I don't want to bomb. I mean, I looked at percentages. That's how crazy I took it down to. I took it down to percentages. I want to do great in 9 out of 10 shows. I want to do great in 10 out of 10 shows, but I know that's not a possibility. It's nothing to do with me. It could be the microphone, the sound coming. It doesn't sound right. But for the most part, it's on me. But I know I could give you 9 out of 10. I wanted to give you immaculate performances, not just that I was good. You know, I want you. If you go, I thought that motherfucker was going to have a heart attack, I did my job. Like I did, if my face gets red, like it did 2 weeks ago, and you know, it was the first time I was on stage in a year, so if my face gets red, I got a little anger issue to me that night, you're on top, you're winning, you got it, you know, that's what I want. But I always knew that, the percentages. If I go out 7 nights a week in a row, I'm going to bomb 2 of those nights on 5, and I'm going to try to charge you big money. I'd rather charge you $20. You come to the store, you see 20 people. And if I bomb, it's okay. I just want my percentages to be up on the weekend. Those 4 shows have to be tremendous. And again, I know those 5 shows aren't going to be great. They're going to be 4 out of 5 when I do Thursday and then 2 Saturday. So I'll add 1 on Thursday. That gives me 6 shows, and I'll bomb 1 of those shows out of the 6. Not bomb. I don't bomb anymore. I just have a bad set. That's how I did my shit. Percentages.
I have so much respect for what you do because just to get up there on stage all by yourself, not with a band, not with 3 other, 4 other guys, but just on your own, you are the show. You know, like if not that I can tell you that I ever phone it in, but you know, shit happens on the road. and sometimes your equipment is not working or, properly or whatever, or you get the flu. I got the flu and I got on stage. I have to sit down middle of the show because I can't take it anymore. I sat on the drum riser. I tell you what it was, Duluth, Minnesota, 1988. Actually 1987.
What I tell you guys.
With White Snake. Yeah. So I remember all this stuff, right? Okay. So what with me now is that it's a whole different level. The purpose of me going on stage, going on the road, is to celebrate the legacy of Quiet Riot. This year, 40th anniversary of recording Mental Health, the album. And I go, prior to that, 1978 with Randy Rhoads, me joining the band. So next year is going to be 45 years since first time I played with Quiet Riot, and to celebrate the memory of Frankie Banali, Kevin DuBrow, and Randy Rhoads. That's my mission. I step out that door when I go on the road, like I will, God willing, this Friday. Step out the door, and I it's not about it's 4:30 in the morning. I gotta catch an Uber to go to the airport. No. It's like, wow, I get to do this. I get to celebrate. I got a mission now. And some reason for me, I go in deeper because it's like, no. This is not just me getting up there on playing on stage anymore. This is about the consciousness that brought me to Quiet Riot in the 70s. 4 guys, 3 of the guys, well, since there were, Kevin and Randy and Drew Forsythe, the drummer, they were born and raised in that area, in the Los Angeles area. Me, I'm from Cuba, I met all the way down to LA. So I had some different, circumstances. I was not living at home. I was not, doing things in my hometown. No, I was like the guy who was on survival mode all the time, trying to be able to stay in the band because I'm not going to have to go back to Miami or whatever, or New Jersey. This was it. I had already done that about 3 times prior to 1978. I had left LA because I kept running out of money. So on this time, that was the last time, And so it was like all we were focused. We're going to make it. We're going to get a record deal. This is going to be a great band, because that's what I saw when I first saw Quiet Riot as a guy, me walking into the Starwood. I saw this band on stage and I got it. I said, these guys, they have the vision. They know where they're going. And if they keep going, they will get there. And so then again, about a year later, I'm in the band. So I understood that. I knew what I was getting myself into, and it was a collective consciousness, that we had. And that was 45 years ago next year. So it's 44 years this year. And it means everything to me. Have you heard of guys who they have like their favorite memories making music was in the garage, because all of the guys, they were all about the same thing. We just, we're happy here in this garage. We're making music. It had nothing to do with anything outside of that room, right? Everything that they all lived for existed there in a combination of 4 or 5 guys or girls, right? And that band broke up in 1979. That garage band, and it was not a garage band because we were playing around town and stuff like that. But it was basically that's what I mean, is the belief system of a garage band. We're going to make it, right? So then Randy goes off and joins Ozzy. Later on, I join Ozzy. Randy dies. And 10 years ago, 40 years ago this year, I walk into a room to record one song as a tribute to the memory of Randy Rhoads, a song called Thunderbird that I used to play with Kevin DuBrow while I was playing with him in his band DuBrow, which is when Quiet Riot broke up. That's what he put together. And I was living with Kevin. So I was trying to subsidize my expenses, that I was living with him when I was paying rent. So I would play with him. And that's one of the songs that I played. So I knew it. So I went back in there with, to record just one song, and that song led me to leave Ozzy, one of the biggest bands in the world, and they were treating me fantastic. They were tremendous with me. They were generous and kind. And to leave that because I have lost my family my Quiet Riot consciousness when Randy died, it wasn't there anymore. It wasn't. I mean, if you look at the stage while Randy was in Ozzy and I was there, it was two guys from Quiet Riot at each side of Ozzy. Two guys that had been a couple of years earlier told that we were dinosaurs, that we were never going to make it by the Los Angeles record companies. And here we are playing with Ozzy. And Randy had already recorded these two amazing and composed records, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. Here we are. And I'm going like, yes. And of all the things, it's, Randy and I, we came from basically the same environment. I grew up in the Caribbean, South Florida. Everything was the beach, sunny. Same thing with Randy. It was all about living in LA, sunny LA. You want to go to the beach, you just go down to the beach any month of the year. Whereas Ozzy was raised in the rubble of the Blitzkrieg. He was born 2 or 3 years after World War II ended. And as a child, as a baby, he was going to these lots in his neighborhood that was just rubble from all the bombs being dropped by the Nazis. In Birmingham, an industrial setting. I mean, nowhere else could music like Black Sabbath originated. That was it. That was the soundtrack of the city of that time. Black Sabbath music. So, you have different consciousness. Ozzy, very dark. Then you have Randy, me, growing up in sunny environments, completely different. So once Randy was gone, it was all dark. That's all I felt, darkness. Not that they are, Ozzy, Sharon, or Tommy, whoever, that we happen to be traveling together. Not that they're bad people or dark people, but that was the spirit. This is where they came from. Not necessarily Tommy, because he was born in Texas and raised he lived in Arkansas when he was playing with Black Oak and all of that. But definitely Ozzy. Ozzy, very, very gloomy, especially after Randy passed away, obviously,
It's crazy. When I first contacted you a couple of weeks ago, it was to do a podcast about Randy. 40 years later, remembering something. Mm-hmm. And then fucking 10 days later, maybe 5 days later, Taylor dies. I didn't call you for a few days. And I'll tell you why. Because Taylor's death reminded me a lot of Randy's death. When I see Taylor Hawkins smiling, that's the last motherfucker I thought was going to die. Ever. Ever. Him and Twinkle Toes on the guitar, they were always smiling. They're the happiest people in the fucking world. The guy that does the really good barbecue, what's his name?
Dave?
Yeah, Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl does great barbecue. A lot of motherfuckers don't know that. But, Dave Grohl's the happiest fucking guy in the world, whether you like him or not. Yeah. So when Doug, when he died, I for a couple of days, and I didn't even come up a Foo Fighters tremendous fan. I'm just a fucking fan of them, and I like what they do. But it felt like Randy. It felt a lot like Randy because it's the last thing I expected to hear. I expected to hear, that Ronnie whatever died in jail. He's getting old. What's the fucking porno guy that's getting charged with 78 rapes? I expected to, somebody to break their leg, but I never saw Taylor Hawkins dying. Yeah. I saw Taylor Hawkins maybe having an accident and breaking his ankle like, the singer from Guns N' Roses, and he has to perform on a stilt to some shit. But I never, listen, bro, when I walked out of that house on a Friday night and I got in my buddy's car in April, and all of a sudden he goes, "Did you hear what happened? Randy Rhoads died." I was done. I didn't know the man. I didn't need to know the man. But I was done for a few days. That added, that just woke up the pain that my mother left 3 years earlier when she died. That put me right back there again. That's what happens when somebody dies. When somebody close to me dies, it wakes up a sleeping fucking giant for a few days. The same thing happens with Taylor. And I could see if I was like a big Taylor. I mean, I was a fan of his. I remember him with Alanis Morissette, but he was the last guy, like Randy. What was Randy? 20 years old or something like that. The last fucking
26.
guy in the row. 26. He's a fucking baby guitar. He was about to take over the world with that fucking guitar, or him and fucking Eddie were gonna have a blast like Russia and Ukraine. They were just gonna throw guitars at each other. They were just tremendous. And one day they just disappeared, and that was it. So when you talk about that, like the Taylor thing, I wanted to bring it up to you because that's what it felt like. And I know to you it didn't feel like it. I'm not trying to, I know you were tight with Taylor, and I know you're the type of guy that's very empathetic. But Randy was Randy to you, and Taylor's Taylor, but it's still a death. It should affect you. You should have a reaction to it.
Absolutely. I posted immediately based on my experience with Taylor. I never saw him high, and we were in events where other people were high, public events, like events, like celebration, like, not just at people's home doing, we went to a couple of things. For example, one of them was Sebastian Bach. He throws a birthday party, and there was a bunch of people there, and then there's Taylor, and he was some sort of a disco theme, and he's wearing disco clothes, and he's just like, I don't even think I saw him drinking. He's just hanging, and I jammed with him. He had this side projects, and I never saw him high on anything. So what I did see was somebody that was incredibly driven. Every time I see his footage of him performing and doing his tribute to Freddie Mercury at Wembley Stadium and all of that, I see, man, this man is very special. Plus, I'm really good friends, and I play with Sass Jordan. And Sass Jordan is who discovered Taylor playing in a club in Southern California, locally from this area. And then from Sass Jordan's band, you guys can watch, on YouTube, him playing with Sass Jordan. And then that's when Sass took a break, as she tells me. And Alanis Morissette, who somehow they share some sort of either management or label or anything like that. She needed a band to promote her new record, Jagged Little Pill. And that's where Taylor joined the band, because they basically took Sass's band and they put it together, and it's easier to do that, And so, she spent a lot of time with Taylor, and never, ever any conversation regarding addiction or drunk, being an alcoholic or anything like that. Nothing,
So is Quiet Riot going to put out an album?
We're working on it. And it's coming along beautifully. I'm very, very, very pleased. I will be completely pleased once it's done, because right now, when you're in the process, you really don't get to enjoy it as much as once it's done. Once it's done, it's like, okay, let me hear it now. And it's like hearing it for the first time, because, you have to wear one hat. One hat is the creator, and then the next hat is the spectator. You're watching this and you're listening to it, and you go, wow, that's really cool. And you kind of like, I can do this. I don't know if everybody can do this, but I can actually separate myself from my creative self to my spectator. Watching or listening to me perform, then I can be critical about it.
That's, I'm fucking really happy for you, Rudy. You look great. I know that this is what did you call it? A passion of a project of joy, right? What did you describe it to
a
me?
mission
of joy. Are you doing a lot of the writing? You got other guys in the band that are helping you write?
everybody contributes. It's really a band effort.
And you're all out in L.A.?
No, we're not. But we are mastering the technique of doing everything because we get together on when we tour, and then when we get creative. See, when you're on tour, basically the way it's done now. With the schedule, you got to get up at 4:00 in the morning to be in the lobby to catch a flight. And please pray to God that you don't get delayed or it doesn't get canceled, so you can make it to the next gig. So you're more focused on that, not necessarily on the creative aspect of it, but more on the survival mode of surviving this experience, so you can get to the next gig and do it all over again. And so once we come home, I can actually put that creative hat on, and I'm very happy. I'm very, very pleased with the way things are shaping up.
You're a fucking animal, Rudy. You're an inspiration. I've learned a lot from
you too.
you.
You too,
I've learned how to be a
too.
professional from being around you. It's always a fucking pleasure. I don't know when I'm going to make it back out to California. I'm trying. I called my agent yesterday. I got some fucking auditions again. I got a little hot, and I got some auditions. I got one for Tom Carvel. I'm going to play the fucking ice cream mogul, I hope. Fucking that'll be me and shit. Don't be fucking laughing, Mike. I love Tom Carvel, cocksucker. But Rudy, let's stay in touch. Let me know when you're coming this way. I'll go see you in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I'll go see you in the Bronx. I'll go see you in Brooklyn or something, wherever you're gonna be. That's it, brother. I love you to death. I'm happy I got together with you.
And I miss you.
I miss you too,
I miss you out here.
Yeah. No, listen, the clouds are parting and the blue sky is starting to come up again in my life. It was a roller coaster there for like a year, but we're back. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Wonderful to hear that. God bless you.
Bendiciones. Te quiero, hermano. I love you. Stay black. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheech, what's happening? I hope you enjoyed Rudy Sarzo as much as I do. The guy drops knowledge. He's, I think, close to 70, and he's still out there doing it. That's not an inspiration for me. I just got to do it on my own fucking terms. Fuck these agents. Fuck everybody. It's back to Joey Diaz time, cocksuckers. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for watching both podcasts this week. Thank you for having our back. Thank you for having our Patreon. We love you to death, and we'll see you Monday morning, May 2nd. God damn, this month is going. The rent is due, bitches, so don't be spending at the fucking Chinese restaurant tonight. I love you, cocksuckers. Stay black, and I'll see you next Monday. Tip top motherfucking Magoo Jack. All right, you fucking savages. Thank you very much for supporting the podcast. Thank you for loving Rudy. Rudy's a fucking gentleman. I want to thank Rudy. I want to thank you guys. But I also want to thank Manscaped. Listen, like I told you in the beginning, spring break's here. You want to look your best. You want your dick sucked? You're going to walk around with that fucking Wolfman hanging around your nutsack? Listen, women like tall guys. Some like butts, but no woman wants a fucking guy with smelly fucking nuts. That's where the Manscaped movement comes in. They developed their own lawnmower 4.0 to keep the weeds out of your fucking crotch hell that's down there. Before you head out for spring break or tonight or any other fucking night of the week, make sure you're groomed from ball to tip. You want to leave a good impression. You want them to call back. How they gonna call you back if your dick stinks like Newark? Join the Manscaped movement by going to Manscaped.com, code Diaz for 20% off and free shipping. Get your day started by trimming your fucking wayward balls with the Lawnmower 4.0. They also got the body wash and the fucking 2-in-1 shampoo. They got the lip balm. Plus, you're going to clear your holes with the fucking weed whacker. That's for your nose and your ears. And then you're going to spruce up your nutsack with the crop preserver and the crop reviver. Finish off grooming routine with the Plow 2.0. A razor makes your face like a baby's ass. Listen to me. If you're still mowing your face with the lawnmower, and your balls and you're doing your face afterward, you're a fucking disgusting animal. Even though I like to go under my mustache and sniff the razor. Anyway, get 20% off free shipping by going to manscaped.com, pressing code Diaz, D-I-A-Z. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com, code Diaz. Manscaped, for when you want to get caught with your pants around your ankles. Also on the agenda is CBD Lion. When it comes to CBD Lion, they're the fucking best. Listen, you got a bunch of people trying to sell you CBD. Tell them all to sniff your fucking nutsack. You just Manscaped, cocksucker. Anyway, tell them all to suck your dick. You with the Lion. CBD Lion. The best CBD available on the market. Says who? Says your Uncle Joey, who lives off CBD, and he's breaking down like an old man that he fucking is. Go to CBDLion.com right now. Read the third-party lab results. Get yourself the tincture, a bath ball. The cream is tremendous, but the Delta 9 gummies will put you in a different fucking perspective, and I'm giving you 20% off for your first order. So go to CBD Lion, order some Delta 9 gummies. It's time to see the devil and get your body back into tip-top shape. I want to thank Manscaped, fucking CBD Lion. I want to thank, who else was on here this week? You got Better Help on Monday. You got Blue Chew. I want to thank fucking Stamps.com. And I want to thank you guys for fucking always having my back. I love you, cocksuckers. Stay black. Have a great week, and I'll see you cocksuckers May 2nd, Monday. Tip Top Magoo.